Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. A true horror story. If you ever wake up at exactly 3:33 a.m. and hear someone call your name from behind, don't turn around, because the moment you do, it will know you can see it. The story. This happened to me in 2022 when I was living alone in a small apartment near my university. It wasn't a big place, just a bedroom, a kitchen, and a narrow hallway that led to the bathroom. At first, everything was normal, but after a few weeks, something strange started happening. Every night at exactly 3:33 a.m. I would wake up. Not because of a sound, not because of a dream, but because of a feeling. A strong, heavy feeling that someone was standing behind me. The first night, the first time it happened, I didn't think much of it. I woke up, looked at my phone, 3:33 a.m. The room was completely dark. I felt uncomfortable, like someone was watching me. But when I turned around, there was nothing there. I convinced myself it was just anxiety and went back to sleep. It keeps happening. The next night, same thing. 3:33 a.m. I woke up suddenly. This time the feeling was stronger. I could almost hear breathing behind me. Slow, heavy, right next to my ear. My entire body froze. But I didn't turn around. After a few seconds, the feeling disappeared. The third night. On the third night, something changed. I woke up again at 3:33 a.m. But this time, I heard a whisper, very close to my ear. Turn around. My heart started pounding. I squeezed my eyes shut. I knew something was behind me. Something not human. The mistake. I don't know why I did it. Maybe curiosity. Maybe fear. Maybe I just wanted it to stop. Slowly, very slowly, I turned around. What I saw. At first I saw nothing. Just darkness. Then, two glowing eyes appeared in the corner of my room. Not like human eyes. They were too wide, too bright, too wrong. Then I saw its shape. A tall figure, standing unnaturally still. Its head tilted slightly to one side. And its smile. It stretched too far across its face. It saw me. The moment I made eye contact, the thing smiled wider. Then it spoke. In my own voice. You weren't supposed to turn around. My body stopped responding. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. The final horror. The next morning, I woke up on the floor. My bed was behind me. My phone still showed 3:33 a.m. frozen. As if time had stopped. From that day on, every night at 3:33 a.m., I don't wake up anymore. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I can still hear it whisper. Turn around, ghost. Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. Part 2. I thought everything ended that night. I was wrong. Because after I saw it, it didn't leave. It followed me. For the next few days, I tried to live normally. I went to classes. I talked to friends. I even tried to convince myself that what I saw was just a nightmare. But something felt different. Everywhere I went, I had this feeling. Like someone was standing just behind me. Not beside me. Not in front. Always behind. The reflection. One afternoon, I was washing my face in the bathroom. I looked up at the mirror. And for a split second, I saw something standing behind me. Tall. Dark. Still. I turned around instantly. Nothing. When I looked back at the mirror, It was gone, but I knew what I saw. It was the same thing. The voice returns. That night, I tried something different. I kept all the lights on. I stayed awake. I told myself I wouldn't sleep. But at exactly 3:33 a.m., my phone screen turned on by itself. The room suddenly felt cold. And then I heard it again. Right behind me. Why are you awake? My breath stopped. I didn't move. I didn't turn. This time, I remembered the rule. Don't turn around. The rules. The next day, I went to an old man who lived near my apartment. People said he knew things, strange things. I told him everything. Every detail. He listened quietly. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. You saw it, so now it sees you. I asked him what that meant. He looked at me and said, there are rules. Rule 1. Never turn around when it calls you. You already broke that. Rule 2. If you see it in a reflection, do not acknowledge it. Rule 3. At 3:33 a.m. stay completely still. Because it gets closer every time you react. The final warning. Then the old man leaned closer and whispered. And if one night you don't feel it behind you anymore. My heart stopped. I asked what happens then. He looked straight into my eyes and said, that means it's no longer behind you. That night, I returned home with fear crawling through my veins. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on my bed staring at the wall. Waiting. Watching the time. 3:30 a.m. 3:31 a.m. 3:32 a.m. Then, 3:33 a.m. The room went silent. Too silent. No breathing. No whisper. Nothing. The worst realization. At first I felt relieved. For the first time. It wasn't behind me. But then I remembered what the old man said. If you don't feel it behind you anymore. Slowly, I raised my eyes and looked forward. It was there, standing in front of me, closer than ever before. Its face inches away from mine. That same unnatural smile. That same glowing eyes. And this time, it didn't wait. It whispered, now you can't look away. Ending. I don't know how I survived that night. I don't remember what happened after. But one thing I know for sure. It doesn't stay behind anymore. Sometimes, when I sit alone, I feel something staring directly at me. Not from behind. Not from the shadows. But right in front. Waiting. For me to blink, I ghost. Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. Part 3 Final. I didn't sleep after that night. I couldn't. Because every time I closed my eyes, I saw it. Standing there. Smiling. Watching me. The days that followed. Something inside me had changed. I stopped going outside. I stopped answering calls. Even the sunlight felt wrong. Because no matter where I looked, I had the constant feeling that it was there. Not behind me anymore. Not hiding. But always. Somewhere in front of me. The first sign. 3 days later, something happened that made me realize. It was getting stronger. I was sitting in my room, staring at my phone. Suddenly, the screen went black. Then slowly, a reflection appeared. Not mine. Its face. Right there. On my phone screen. Smiling. I dropped the phone instantly. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. It doesn't need darkness. Before, it only came at night. at 3:33 a.m. But now, it didn't follow any rules. I started seeing it during the day. In reflections, in windows, even in the corner of my eyes. Every time I tried to focus on it, it disappeared. But I knew it was always there, watching, waiting. The old man's return. I went back to the old man, desperate, terrified. I told him everything. He looked at me for a long time. Then he said something that made my heart sink. You didn't just see it. You invited it. The truth. He explained that what I encountered was not just a spirit. It was something older. Something that feeds on attention, fear, awareness. The moment you looked at it, he said, you gave it a place in your world. I asked him how to stop it, how to get rid of it. He stayed silent for a while, then finally said, there is only one way. The final rule. You must ignore it completely. No matter what it does. No matter what it shows you. You must not react. Not fear, not look, not think about it. Because the moment you acknowledge it, it grows stronger. The hardest part. I returned home with one goal. Ignore it. Completely. That night, 3:33 a.m. came again. I felt it. Closer than ever. Right in front of me. Its breath. Cold against my face. But I didn't move. I didn't react. I didn't open my eyes. The voices. Then it started speaking. In my voice. In my mother's voice. In my friends' voices. Look at me. Please. I'm right here. The voices sounded real. Painful. Desperate. But I remembered the rule. Ignore it. The breaking point. Then suddenly, I heard something that broke me. A scream. My mother's voice. Crying for help. Please save me. My chest tightened. My heart started racing. I couldn't take it anymore. Slowly, I opened my eyes. The trap. The moment I did, I realized my mistake. It wasn't my room anymore. I was somewhere else. A dark, empty space. Endless. Silent. And in front of me, it stood. Closer than ever before. Its smile wider than ever. Its eyes glowing brighter. The truth of it. Then it spoke. Not in my voice. Not in anyone's voice. But something deeper. Something ancient. You keep looking. That's why you belong to me now. The endless loop. I tried to run. But there was nowhere to go. I tried to close my eyes. But I could still see it. Everywhere. It wasn't outside anymore. It was inside. The final twist. I don't know how much time has passed. Days. Weeks. Maybe longer. But I'm writing this now. For you. Because if you're listening to this story, if you made it this far, there's something you need to understand. The warning. Right now. As you're reading this, you might feel something. A strange feeling. Like someone is behind you. Or maybe in front of you. The last line. If that happens, whatever you do, don't turn around. Because the moment you do, it won't be my story anymore. It will be yours, I Ghost. Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. Part 4, The Aftermath. If you're hearing this right now, then it means one thing. You didn't listen. It didn't end. You thought the story ended. You thought it was just another horror story. Something to listen to at night. Something to forget. But that's the problem. This wasn't just a story. Because after everything that happened, after the darkness, after that place, I didn't escape. I came back, but not alone. One morning I woke up. Back in my room. Everything looked normal. My bed. My phone. My walls. For a moment I thought it was over. That maybe it was all a dream. But then I noticed something. The clock. It was stuck at 3:33 a.m. Not moving. Not blinking. Just frozen. Something is wrong. I tried to leave my room. But the hallway felt longer than before. The air felt heavier. And every mirror I passed, I avoided looking into. Because deep down, I knew if I saw it again, it would be over. The first glitch. Later that day, I turned on my phone. There were messages, dozens of them, from unknown numbers, all saying the same thing. Did you see it? My hands started shaking. I didn't reply. I didn't open anything else. But then, a new message appeared. From my own number. The message. It said, "Turn around." I froze. My entire body went cold. Because at that exact moment, I felt it. Right behind me again. After all this time, it was behind me. The rule is broken. I remembered everything. The rules. The warnings. The old man. But something was different. This time, I didn't feel fear. I felt something worse. Acceptance. The choice. Slowly. Very slowly. I stood up. My breathing was calm. Too calm. I looked straight ahead. Not moving. Not reacting. Then I spoke. For the first time. The words. "I know you're there." Silence. Then, a whisper. Right behind me. "You learned the truth." At that moment, I understood everything. It never wanted to kill me. It never wanted to chase me. It wanted something else. Something worse. It wanted to be seen. The more I feared it, the stronger it became. The more I looked at it, the closer it came. Because it feeds on one thing. Attention. The final decision. So I made a choice. I closed my eyes. I stood still. And I ignored it. Completely. The silence. Seconds passed. Then minutes. No whisper. No breath. No presence. For the first time since it began, there was nothing. The ending or beginning. When I opened my eyes, everything was normal. The clock moved again. The air felt light. The silence was real. But there's one problem. Sometimes, very rarely, at exactly 3:33 a.m., my phone lights up. No notification. No sound. Just a black screen. And then, for a split second, I see a reflection. Not mine. Not fully. Just a shadow. Watching. Waiting. Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. Part 5 The Loop. If you're still listening, then it means something strange has already started. Because stories like this don't follow you unless you notice them. The days after silence. For a while, everything felt normal again. No whispers. No shadows. No presence. I started sleeping peacefully, going outside, living like before. But deep inside, I knew something wasn't right. Because silence can be worse than fear. The first return. It happened again. 3 nights later. I woke up suddenly. No sound. No dream. Just that same feeling. Heavy. Cold. Unnatural. Slowly I reached for my phone. The screen lit up. 3:33 a.m. The reflection again. I remembered the rule. Don't look. But something was different this time. The screen didn't go black. It stayed on. And then I saw it. Not clearly. Not fully. Just a shape. Standing behind me. Inside the reflection. The new rule. Then I realized something terrifying. Before, it stayed behind me. Then, it came in front of me. Now, it didn't need a place at all. It was everywhere. I started seeing it everywhere. Not fully. Just pieces. A shadow in the corner. A reflection in glass. A movement that shouldn't be there. It wasn't chasing me anymore. It wasn't hiding either. It was simply existing. The voice changed. Then one night, it spoke again. But this time, not behind me, not in front of me, but inside my head. You understand now. The truth about it. I tried to ignore it, but the voice continued. You looked. You listened. You stayed. And now, you belong to the loop. The loop. That word stayed in my mind. Loop. I didn't understand it at first. But then, it showed me. The vision. For a moment, everything around me changed. I wasn't in my room anymore. I was watching someone else, sitting in a dark room, listening to a story. This story, my story, the realization. My heart stopped, because that person was you, breaking the fourth wall. Yes, you, the one reading this right now, the one listening, the one imagining everything. You felt it, didn't you? That small chill, that strange awareness, like something is near. It needs a new one. The voice whispered again. It moves when it's seen. It grows when it's heard. It stays when it's believed. My role. Then I understood my part. I was never meant to escape. I was meant to tell the story, to pass it on, so it can continue. The transfer. Because once someone else hears it, fully understands it, feels it, the attention shifts. The focus moves. The last message. That's why I'm telling you this now. Because something has changed. I don't feel it anymore. Not behind me. Not in front. Not anywhere. Don't turn around at 3:33 a.m. Part 6, The Origin. If you're still here, then the story didn't end for you either. Because what I'm about to tell you is something I was never supposed to learn. The silence was a lie. After it left me, or at least after I thought it left me, life slowly returned to normal. Days passed. Then weeks. No whispers. No shadows. No 3:33 a.m. wake-ups. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. But something felt missing. And that was the problem. Because the fear was gone. But so was something else. Something I couldn't explain. It felt like A part of me was no longer there. The first clue. It started with dreams. Not nightmares. Not exactly. Just strange dreams. I would see long, empty hallways. Doors that never opened. Mirrors that didn't show reflections. And in every dream, there was one thing missing. Me. I was there. I wasn't the one walking. I wasn't the one watching. It was like I was seeing the world. From somewhere else. From something else. The old man's disappearance. I went back to the old man. The one who told me the rules. But when I reached his house, it was empty. Abandoned. Neighbors told me something strange. They said, "No one has lived here for years." The truth gets worse. I showed them his picture. They looked confused. One of them said, "This man died a long time ago." My chest tightened. Because I knew. I had spoken to him. I had seen him. The notebook. Before leaving, I noticed something inside the abandoned house. A small notebook. Hidden under a broken table. I picked it up. And inside, everything changed. The writings. The notebook was filled with entries. Different handwriting. Different dates. But the same story. Again and again. The same pattern. Every entry described the same thing. 3:33 a.m. A presence. A voice. A rule. A mistake. And then, a transfer. I wasn't the first. There were dozens of names. Dozens of people. All of them experienced it. All of them tried to escape. None of them truly did. The origin. At the last page, there was something different. A note. Written in darker ink. Messier. More desperate. The final entry. It said, "It doesn't come from outside. It doesn't live in the dark. It doesn't follow you. The truth. It begins when you become aware of it. Understanding it." My hands were shaking because everything suddenly made sense. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a demon. It wasn't something that existed before. It is created. It is created. The moment you notice it. The moment your mind accepts it. The moment fear gives it form. The loop explained. That's the loop. It moves from person to person. Not physically, but mentally. Through awareness. Through attention. Through stories. Why you're here. That's why you're hearing this now. That's why you stayed. That's why you kept listening. Because something inside you recognized it. The final realization. And now, you're part of it too. The last warning. From this point on, there are no more rules. No more protection. Because once you understand it, it understands you. The ending that never ends. Tonight, when you wake up at 3:33 a.m. and you feel something near you, don't try to run. Don't try to hide. Final line. Because it won't be behind you. It won't be in front of you. It won't be anywhere you can see. It will be you, I ghost.